Hello guys, welcome back. So Corvus kit is out. Let's go read it and then we'll talk about it a little bit, okay? And if you listen to the kit and something comes to mind, it's like, oh, she could work this way, please let me know in the comments, okay? That said, let's go ahead and check the insight. When entering battle, she gains Amplified Surge. After an active action, she gains Dynamo. At the start of the round, if no under pulsing field of any level, she will deploy it level 1. At the end of the round, she will gain 5 stacks of Dynamo and transfer up to 15 into the pulsing field. Ultimate does not take up the draw incantation limit, so the card's in your hand. So ult is like free slot. I1. When exiting pulsing field level 3, Arc Light turns, which she has, we'll see later, turns into Dynamo and Trembling Arc. So whatever stacks you have. I2 is increased attack. I3, when an enemy with High-Temp Welding dies, which is a status that they will receive later on, when they die, they inflict this status to a random enemy, if there's still someone alive, like another ad, and also inflict them with the same number of stacks of Breaking Point, which we'll see later. Now, what is Amplified Surge is something that she has, and it says that when entering Pulsing Field level 3, when you get to the level 3, she will increase the self-moxie, she will gain some moxie. When in Pulsing Field, increase max moxie and become immune to control effect. So once you reach Pulsing Field 3, she will expand the I don't know to how much, maybe 7, maybe 10, I don't know how many moxies, maybe 10 will be good. And she gains maybe like 5 extra. She gains like 5 moxie and she pushes to 10 as a max. So maybe if you have 2 moxie out of 5 and then you enter pulsing field, now you are 7 out of 10. Trembling Arc is a buff that gives you increased attack. Now, that's the insight. The skills, this is the main thing, by the way. Everything else is like a little bit of a background noise in terms of like kit complexity and what's happening in the character. Now, S1 is still kind of simple. S1 is single mental damage, self gains Arc Light, so she will gain this like buff that she has, and then will turn into Dynamo and etc. stuff like that. When hit, inflicts Breaking Point on the target. We'll read it in a second. So Arc Light increases attack. Breaking Point is consumed when hit with forced stitching and trigger an extra effect. This is basically like a debuff counter that the enemy is going to get when you hit him. And this will be there as a check. Whenever you're using forced stitching, we'll learn about it in a second. Whenever you're using it and you are attacking the monster, which has this check called Breaking Point, then something will happen. If they don't have Breaking Point, then that something will not happen. Like be a buff, be like a thing. We'll see in a second. So they get this Breaking Point. Now S2, that's the self channel. This is important, and the ult is important, and then force stitching is very important. Force stitching is the main thing that she has. Self channel. S2 forces the enemy target to enter this status called High-Temp Welding. And she enters stitching, not force, stitching. She enters just general stitching. If the target is already in this High-Temp Welding, let's say you do the self-channel again, then she will gain Arc Light and inflict Breaking Point on the target. So you kind of incentivized in channeling again while in channel, so you can stack off this Arc Light and Breaking Point, which we'll see is pretty useful. So what is High-Temp Welding? High-Temp Welding is a debuff that decreases their mental defense. After being attacked, Corvus will gain Arc Light. If the damage source is mental, further decrease mental defense, and Corvus will gain an extra Arc Light. So you can farm some Arc Lights like this. For stitching, will prioritize attacking those under High-Temp Welding. So whenever that hits, that goes, you will attack someone that has High-Temp Welding. Stitching, what is the status? At the end of the turn, will trigger different types of force stitching depending on the level of the pulsing field. We'll read about what it does here. But let's move on to the alt. The alt is a single mental damage, inflicts breaking point on target, and triggers force stitching. We don't know how many like layers of breaking point, how many layers of arc lights we're getting from anywhere. We'll need the numbers, and how hard the stuff hits, we'll need the numbers. But still, now, so this is pretty simple, but it calls the powerful ability that she has. So what is force stitching? Now, it's a single mental damage. It will funnel Dynamo into pulsing field. This attack is affected by alt might, so like Isabeth basically, but not as often obviously. Increases this attack's damage gradually depending on the level of the pulsing field. So it will be probably have three steps, right? 3 levels. And consume the target breaking point, which we talked about earlier. It will be consumed when hit by trigger and trigger an extra effect. This, right? This thing. It will consume the target's breaking point, whatever how many they have, to let itself, the attack, gain, or like Corvus, gain arc light, increase mental damage dealt per arc light, further increase mental damage dealt per arc light. So you're scaling with arc lights or trembling arc. And the final stage would be mental damage is affected by alt might. So depending on how many arc lights, and in this case trembling arc, you have with Corvus, you will be attacking the enemy that has breaking point during this stage of self channel, which is called stitching. You will cast this forced stitching by doing the ultimate or at the end of the turn. What is it? The end of the turn. It will scale with pulse field. It will scale off breaking points, and it will scale off arc light. So the 3 important things are channeling, getting breaking point on the enemy, and getting arc light on yourself. Plus extra buff that you could like catch from the other Dynamo characters, right? So this is basically it. And it's like it might feel like it's convoluted because we are talking about theory, right? When you're actually playing the character, when the character comes here, like even in global, if you don't play CN, you will do the trial of the character a couple of times. You will understand what it means, right? So don't worry if it sounds convoluted, if it sounds complex. It is not, but it is more on the complex side, even just by saying it out loud, because you need to keep track of 3 different things, which might be easy early on, like in gameplay, but like when I talk about it in theory, then it sounds insane. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what she does. It looks like a DPS to me. She doesn't offer these buffs to anybody else. It's just hers. She gains more moxie, so there might be like a moment or a combo that you can do where you actually get like maybe two ults back to back to cast some extra force stitching and getting breaking point and dealing damage. She's mental damage though, so keep that in mind. You need to be careful because you keep getting mental buffs. So if you're attacking someone that is like a mental resistant and you're not dealing that much damage, it's kind of weird. It's probably because they're like your attacks are mental, so and everything doubles down on the mental. So if you're fighting with the Dynamo team on someone that is like you know the basics of the game, so yeah, so keep that in mind because like all of the power ups is not general damage like usually is. It's like mental specifically. So we're doubling down on mental. This is not very common like nowadays. So that's why I'm talking about it. Otherwise, it would be like duh. Like if this was 1.1, it would be like yeah, no shit. We're doing that all the time. We're not doing that usually. Usually they all get like extra generalized damage, like damage up, crit rate, crit damage. Now they're going to like a little more mental, so like super mental, mental here, mental here, mental here. Keep that in mind. So that's it. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know in the comments if you can think of some extra usage of her. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time.